Hi, it is February 16th, 2022. So the exciting news today is I was kicked off Twitter. Um, I made a comment and it was a sarcastic remark, and someone reported it as though it wasn't sarcasm. So I appealed it. I said, hey, look, this is obviously sarcasm. And they're accusing me of being violent or making a violent threat or something. I'm like, no, actually, this is the opposite, and I'm actually pointing out how bad violence is, and how, in this circumstance, when you just appeal to a legal authority as a moral authority, and you consider that to be moral, how that's bad. And I went through this whole thing. Anyway, so I appealed it, and then they got back to me like right away, and they're like, oh no, your account's permanently disabled. We've denied your appeal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this entire my tweet, the context, all of it. I'm actually going to post on my website. So instead of this just being one tweet that a handful of people saw, and actually I got like 20 or 30 likes on this tweet before it got reported or whatever. So actually, instead of just that 20 or 30 people seeing it, now it's actually going to be crystallized. It's going to be immemorialized or whatever. It's permanently going to be on my website. So now every visitor from now until the end of fucking time can go to my fucking website and can see this little tidbit and not only read my comment, and this might end up being like a full page on my Twitter, like to unpack this, to unpack the original comment, and then to unpack Twitter's reaction. It's going to be a pretty damning piece of evidence to show that actually what they're doing is silencing people who would support peace, who would actually who support nonviolence. That's what they're actually opposed to and what they're actually banning. And what they actually support is violence and human suffering as a function of that violence. So I'm going to be writing, and I am a talented writer, I'm going to be writing a piece that I expect will be incredibly damning of that company, and it will be on my website for as long as I own that website, prominently. Furthermore, this has inspired me. It's like, okay, well, now if I can't use Twitter, which I never got any much traction there anyway, despite interacting like 20,000 plus times. I don't know if I was shadow banned or what. Never could get much of a following, much interaction. Wasted a whole lot of energy and effort. Well, now I can take that energy and effort and I can put it somewhere else. And hopefully have a lot more success marketing my website, marketing my book. And informing people of the truth. I actually wrote a poem today about this, and I might actually put that poem on that page of my website. So that's something that's coming. I don't know exactly when I'm going to have time, but I am going to say that I'm feeling a lot more motivated to spread this message than I was yesterday. I was kind of hitting a lull where I felt like, what's the fucking point? I guess I've really, over the last couple days, I've had a bit of a spiritual evolution where, I had been questioning God. I had been questioning this whole experience and saying, this is madness. Why is it like this? Blah, blah, blah. And feeling really very much as though it was in my hands that I have to take care of this. And I guess what got me thinking about God was my children got an opportunity this weekend. They're going to be traveling with my mother down to Tucson to visit their aunt. And this is a rare opportunity for them, and I think it's going to be a very good thing for them to get to do, because I want them to be able to socialize, and I feel like my social circle's been so limited that it's been damaging to them not having people in their life they can do that with. And yet this opportunity came up, and I'm like, wow, like that's like, I think that's like just the ticket and just what they probably need to um to feel better and to develop. I mean, I think human discourse and communication, I called my book Human Discourse for a reason. I believe in communication. I believe in listening to people. I believe in holding space for the things people have to say. And I believe in expressing myself honestly. I mean, that's two sides of the coin of discourse that I believe is very important. I think the problem in this world is disconnection, not connection. And, this woman who broke my heart, she made a decision that disconnection would be the solution to her problems, that just ignoring me, pretending I don't exist, dehumanizing me, treating me like I'm not a human being, like my emotions, my feelings aren't real or worthy of validation or acknowledgement, that my ideas are not worthy of validation or acknowledgement, that essentially I have no value, and she's going to try living her life as though I just don't exist, that I never existed, because I make her uncomfortable, because I pointed out very, very accurate and real things that happened in that relationship that didn't make her comfortable, and I pointed out very accurate flaws in her reasoning for her value system and how that was flawed. And I did the same thing on Twitter, pointing out why assuming that government legal authority is a moral authority is flawed, because the example I used was, well, they're like, well, you've got a choice, but whether you're going to follow the law or not. And I'm like, well, that's like telling the Jews that went to the concentration, well, it's the law, you have to go there, that's the law, I have to take you there, that's the law. But just because it's the law doesn't mean it's the right thing to put a child in a fucking gas chamber. That's the point I was making, that they didn't want me to make. And so they banned me. But they won't silence me. They haven't silenced me. And that information will appear on my website soon. Just like my book will appear in many more people's hands soon, because I just ordered another batch of 50 of them that I plan to distribute amongst the community wherever I go. And I do intend, now that I'm not on Twitter, to spend as much time as I possibly can going out in the community and talking with people and getting to know people, distributing my books and teaching people about freedom. Yeah, they are spiritually bankrupt, and they think they can control the world around them. They think, if I don't listen to what you say, it'll be like... See, they blame the messenger. They think, this woman thinks I'm the problem, right? The problem is her own body. The problem is the feelings that arose in her own body when she was in my presence, and the fact that she cannot physically be in my presence without those feelings arising, and without her becoming a horny little fucking whore. And that's the fucking goddamn fucking truth. Laid out for you, kid. See, I'm a man of fucking peace. I'm a man of fucking words. I'm not a coward like her fucking husband, who was too much of a fucking bitch to fucking have a conversation with me, and so he just relied on government fucking threats instead. Because he's a cowardly little bitch, just like his little bitch wife. And, this is who these fucking people are. They're cowardly pieces of shit. And they go around and they use people for whatever they want to use them for, and then they discard them, and they dehumanize them, and they bully them, and they silence them, and they treat them like shit, and then they wonder why people get so angry, and why thousands of fucking truckers show up in fucking Ottawa with nothing to fucking lose. Why people fucking show up at the fucking Capitol building, you know? But they haven't seen shit yet. Again, I'm a man of fucking peace. I have no intention to commit violence against anyone. But I'm also a man of empathy. I'm also a man who listens to other people and who understands the motivations behind other people's behavior. See, I underestimated God. See, I was thinking to myself, well, humans have to fix this. And that was inaccurate, because it doesn't matter what these people do. God will fix this when the time is right. I don't know if this is maybe just an act of grace. He wants as many people to wake up as possible and be able to save themselves before it's too fucking late. I don't know if he's doing this so that we never forget these lessons. I don't know if he's doing this because there's ultimately more lessons that we need to learn so that we can keep freedom once we get it. I don't understand every motivation of God, but I can tell you that I've seen God showing up in my life and in the lives of other people. I've seen miracles take place that just seem like a lot more than fucking coincidence. Like the fact I haven't found it necessary to take a drink in 15 fucking years. Not a single day since I turned to God have I found it necessary. That's been my experience, you know. The people I meet who just fit so perfectly to teach me the lessons I seem to need to learn, or to give me the connection I seem to need in that moment. It's a magical and poetic universe, and it can seem so like, well, but that's just humans. How can God be controlling all that? But the thing is, most humans are incredibly predictable. They're not like humans because they're emotionally shut off from themselves, and they just act instinctually. They just act in ways that are predictable because of their state of evolution. So they think they're in control of their own decisions, but they're not, because their decisions are inspired by their fears. And God knows their fucking fears. He knows how they're going to act. He knows what they're going to do. So from that perspective, well, he can just adjust one little thing, and now they're going to do something different, and that plan can materialize. So, you know, again, I'm ignorant, but I have reconnected with God in the past couple of days, and I've gained a sense of trust of God that was lacking for some time. And especially today, being kicked off Twitter, I feel very much like, well, this is in God's hands. This is what God wanted to have happen. For whatever reason, he decided that the right person was going to see my tweet, and he knew they would get triggered, and he knew they would report me, and he knew what Twitter would do. He knew all of that. He's playing these fucking people, dude. So, God's got a plan. Something moved. This was good, because I feel like I've been stagnant. I've been feeling powerless. I've been feeling like nothing's progressing, and yet the suffering is continuing. But today I feel like something progressed. And, you know, my being off Twitter is likely to have an impact on the discourse that takes place on that site. Because even though I wasn't getting a huge following, the words you say have impact, and the people who read those words hear those arguments, and now they're aware of those arguments. And so one person can shape a discourse and can keep it grounded and keep it from getting unhinged, pulling people back into reality. Without that, people are going to get unhinged. And I could see this decision by Twitter is irrational. It's a bad decision. If their motive is to silence me, all they're going to do is the opposite, because all they're going to do is inspire me to fucking talk more, to reach out to more people, and not ideologues on Twitter who are never gonna fucking change their mind about anything, but people who live in the real world and who understand reality, certain aspects. I can help them put that puzzle together. I can give them a book and I can give them hope. So I do need to market my book. My funds are very limited and I'm not sure how to put them to their best use. If anyone's interested in going in on this with me and working out some kind of share of the proceeds for some period of time, if you think I got a good book, if you want to be involved with spreading that message, let me know. Reach out to me. I want to make connections. The more people you know, the better. You know, if anyone has marketing specific ideas, and don't tell me to go on fucking Facebook, because I'm not allowed on fucking Facebook. I'm not allowed on any of their affiliate websites. I'm not allowed on fucking Twitter. And I'm not interested in marketing on here either. I got a billboard deal that I'm considering, but that's going to cost me about $4,500. That's a lot. Probably could get about 750,000 people seeing that billboard over a 2-month period with those funds, and could extend it probably for about $1,500 a month after that if I wanted to. That's one idea. But if you got ideas and you want to get in on this, talk to me. See if we can work something out. Other than that, yeah, you know, I have this feeling of peace about the whole Twitter thing. It's like first of all, like I was there as an act of kindness. Like I was doing this for people. Like I was on Twitter trying to help people prepare, trying to help people understand. But like it's cool, dude. Like that's just like less obligation to me. I feel like I'm off the hook. Like, okay, I'm gonna put this page together on my website, then that's gonna be memorialized. And you know, my Twitter, I think it looks like it's still up, it's just I can't post anymore. So I think you can still go back and look at my historical tweets if you're interested. And yeah, it's all good, man. God's got this, man. God is going to reward those of us who have contributed to this effort. Those of us who have stood fast in what we have known to be right, despite all the threats from this world. Made against people who do that. You know, getting thrown off there tells me that The other side has no arguments. It tells me that they lack the intellectual capability of refuting any of the points I make, that they lack the empathy of even understanding what those points are, and that they lack the compassion to try to do so. Because one of the cruelest things you can do to a person in this world is to attempt to silence them, to tell them that their voice has no value or meaning, to dehumanize them, to join a clique of bullying assholes for the sake of your own social approval, to abandon people who were kind to you, who were honest with you, who never threatened you, who never did anything but attempt to make you happy. And express their fucking pain. In an attempt to end it. So, that's all I got for you guys right now. I expect that when God closes a door, like he's done with my Twitter career, that he will open a window. And I'm excited to see what fills the void.